Welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel, everyone. This is Rich, making another video on XRP today, as usual. We're going to talk about XRP today, so I hope everyone is having a fantastic day wherever they are in the world. This is the one-day chart once more. Right now, we're at $1.78. I stated in that video yesterday that I don't think it's time to declare the bottom is in. Furthermore, many people still anticipate that we will drop further from here. If something occurs, you need to be ready. Selling into the dip is not an option. Eventually, this market will rebound. It's not just XRP dipping either. Check out Bitcoin, it's less than $77K. Once more, they anticipate that Bitcoin will drop below $50,000. In my opinion, XRP would probably approach $1 once more if that were to occur. Who knows though? Right present, this market has the potential to recover. You must constantly hope for the best and expect the worst. It was more than simply cryptocurrency. The U.S. stock market lost more than $1.50 trillion today. Can you imagine how panicked the stockrooms must have been? Because cryptocurrency investors are not made like stock traders. We perceive a dip and we go through it as if it were nothing. They start to fear as soon as they notice a 5% drop. They want to leap out. Even so, you should anticipate further suffering in the stock market. Tariffs are still being discussed a lot, but this puts it in the context of what we are still doing in 2017. Let's use RSI 2017 to compare the most recent late parabolic climb to the present. The previous RSI top to local bottom fall occurred 31.45% of the time in 122 days in 2025. In 90 days, RSI currently crashed 29.24%. I predict a blast-off in 2025 and a huge crash on top of the 95% if the same actions are taken. The majority will be destroyed. They therefore anticipate a run-up followed by a significant drop. I'm still not sure if I think that significant pullback will occur. It looks very different this time. I continue to believe that institutional investment in cryptocurrency will be the game changer. Later this year, I believe XRP will begin to show some utility. Everything will be different after utility starts to drive the price. Previous cycles are no longer reliable indicators of future events. However, I wanted to emphasize that we are still on course for the 2017-2018 run. According to Standard Chartered Bank, by the end of President Donald Trump's administration, XRP may reach $12.50. Standard Chartered is acting far too conservatively, in my opinion. Accordingly, they predict $550 by the end of this year and $8 by the end of 2026. By the end of 2027, it will be $10.40. And by the end of 2028, it will be $12.50. Now consider it this way. What are you being told by Standard Chartered? There's been a steady increase in the price of XRP. We will still be in the double digits at the end of this year, in my opinion. And people anticipate a 3-digit XRP at the beginning of next year. Therefore, if you can survive 2025 without selling too soon, you may witness a 3-digit XRP in early 2026 due to a lawsuit to lift off XRP, which is expected to overtake other cryptocurrencies. The only thing left to do is wait. Therefore, genuine utility is what they are discussing, and not merely hype. Right now the excitement surrounding Bitcoin is at an all-time high. I'll go into greater detail about that in a future video. However, you're gaining real utility and use case with XRP. The institutions that we already see are eager to invest in XRP. All of those Xrp Etfs were filed for that reason, since they are aware of the institutional demand. After that, you begin to examine remittances, on-demand liquidity, tokenization, and other aspects. They even mention that major players are already taking action. Many individuals believe that the institutions are making covert purchases, such as when we witness significant movements in XRP with 200 million XRP going in various directions. However, I'm still not convinced about that concept. Perhaps some major players are using their own funds to enter the game, in my opinion. We're not entirely sure. Then they claim that it will only be a matter of time. Now that the case is done, they claim all we need to do is wait for the SEC to announce it. The remainder of the market will therefore find it difficult to stay up with XRP. And I concur with that. It will be extremely difficult for the other cryptocurrencies to catch up to XRP if institutional adoption picks up speed. I continue to believe that Ethereum will be flipped sooner rather than later. On the first day, the volume of the XRP and 2 Xrp Etf was $5 million. Very respectable, especially given the state of the market, which places it in the top 5% of newly launched ETFs and around 4 times as successful as the 2x Solana ETF. So consider that this first XRP ETF already outperformed Solana's 2x ETF by a factor of 4. From here, where do you think this will go? The Bitcoin ETFs were regarded as remarkable by many. Do you recall the excitement surrounding that? Additionally, Bitcoin continued to reach fresh all-time highs. What do you think these XRP ETFs will accomplish? They will be more than just amazing. They will be great. And it will be a very amazing spectacle to witness. This week, FOMC minutes. The CPI and the PPI are all declining. Hold on tight. Things are going to get crazy. Loading of volatility. Will the market collapse or flourish? Now, for some, it's around 50/50. Many believe that the Fed will lower interest rates in response to pressure from Donald Trump and the tariffs. Others are saying no, Jerome Powell will hold firm and not reduced rates. All we can do is wait and watch how things work out. As the FOMC minutes are due today, we will soon learn the outcome. And because it puts things in perspective, I felt this post was excellent. Edo Farina admits that he was annoyed by the markets in a fair market today. The price of XRP ought to have soared. Following the announcement of Ripple's acquisition today, there's a lot to cover in that acquisition, so I will create a separate movie about it. Whether it's the lawsuit, the SEC's attack on cryptocurrency, Trump's tariffs, or the Bitcoin meltdown, there's always a storyline to keep the price down. In a typical scenario, XRP would already be significantly higher than $100. Definitely. However, the most significant wealth transfer does not occur in normal circumstances. Hold the line. Our moment is coming, XRP family. I've been saying that for a long time, so I thought that was fantastic. With only the SEC lawsuit ending and XRP receiving approval, XRP is incredibly inexpensive, and it's not a security, as we all know. I continue to believe that XRP should be significantly higher than $10, but it should at least be that amount. However, it appears that the narrative is constantly present to stifle this cryptocurrency. That's the end of that story. Time to depart. Then we all get wealthy. Since they are still promoting the Bitcoin story at the moment, it is widely reported in the news media. Every day, one article after another regarding Bitcoin appears, some of which misrepresent the facts. To put it another way, when someone mentions digital assets, an article about Bitcoin alone immediately appears. Even the truth is being twisted by them. However, XRP will have a clear route ahead when it does, and I believe there will be rules for that. In this area, regulations are likely to affect everything. Then, genuine worth will be incorporated into the item that will transform everything.